It's Inktober. I'm Man217 and today I'm gonna take as many Inktober prompts as I can and mash them all together. Let's see how many I can do. I start by sketching a girl because I know that's what I want to draw because, well, girls are pretty. I decided to give her a crop top and a more of a loose shirt because I want to have it floating up. I like the way that looks, and it also shows that the gravity isn't working the way it's supposed to be working. I do the same thing with her hair. It's kind of floating all around her, and that kind of helps push the effect. It shows that the gravity is not the way it's supposed to be, that she's in space. I want to make her floating, like Georgie from It. Sorry, Georgie. Now this is Inktober, so you gotta make sure you have a good set of inks. For me, I use a variation of thick and thin lines. Now, I would like to have planned my drawing beforehand, but I couldn't do that because I'm trying to get rid of all these prompts as I go along. But I would like to generally plan where my light source is coming from, where the scenery is, where I think the light will be interacting with the character. Because thinner lines usually mean that there's more light, and thicker lines means that there's more shadow. So under the chin where there will be more shadow, I put thicker lines. Under the boobas will be thicker lines. And on top of her head, if there's a source of light right above her, it will be a thinner line. But again, in my opinion, a really good way to have a good set of inks is to have variation. Now, I love the way she's coming out. I have her with her eyes closed, floating through space, and this takes care of prompt number 1, dream. I then decide to give her some cool tattoos, and I'm gonna tell you why, okay? You're probably not gonna be happy, but this is a good way to cheat when you need to add some prompts, okay? When you don't know how to add a prompt somewhere, you just draw in a tattoo on the character of that prompt. Now, obviously for Spider, I could have drew spiders all over her, in the corners, just floating through space, because spiders are not from Earth, okay? You heard it here first. Those are aliens. I know I'm right. But I give her a spider tattoo with some spider webs, and that takes care of prompt number 2, spiders. Here's another quick tip for all the people trying to do Inktober out there. You gotta make sure that your paper is not white. Please don't let your canvas be white because now you can't use white as a color in your artwork. It doesn't pop from the background. So I use a white aura behind her head because I wanna add a halo. This takes care of prompt number 16, angel. I also decide to give her a set of horns to kind of make her look like a demon as well, which gets rid of the next prompt. I know I could have added stars to the background being that she's in space, but for some reason, I wanted to draw stars in her hair, which gets rid of the prompt celestial and sparkle, because I add some sparkles in that hair. I think that's a really cool design aspect for the character. I think it helps her pop out of the background as well, and I just think it's pretty cool. I draw in a chain around her neck, and I realized that the prompt is not chain, it's actually chains. And I don't want you guys saying, oh, but Aunt, you messed up. It's not chain, it's more than one. Well, shut up. I'm gonna add another chain to her arm, kind of holding on to this object to the side. So there you go, chains. I draw in a dagger on her hip that honestly I think is way too small. I should have made it bigger, but I wanted to add that dagger because that takes care of another prompt. And then I move on to drawing this weird toad creature. It's just a sketch, so I'm not gonna get rid of any prompts yet. I'm also gonna add in a treasure map in this jar. That gets rid of 2 prompts right away. You got map and you got golden. And I know what you're thinking again. Oh, but Aunt, you didn't draw anything gold there. You're using black and white. And you're right, but there is gold. Ask my friend Redbeard. Arg, he's right, mateys. The X is always a good place to find some booty. But you always need to make sure you follow the right path. Thanks, Redbeard. And speaking of path, that gets rid of another prompt. I continue to draw and I feel like I need to add another creature or another element to this drawing to get rid of more prompts. So I add this really big, grotesque goldfish. And that gets rid of golden again, in case you guys weren't happy with that. The fish is going to be big, he's going to be fat, and he's going to be plump. I also have him in a fish tank that has a castle, and he's dodging a big fiery meteor. I'm gonna repeat all of that for you in case you missed it. We have a castle in the tank of a plump beast of a goldfish dodging a fireball that is rushing toward them. That's an awesome way to get rid of some prompts right there. I color in the goldfish and I can't use gold, so I just use an off-white tone. And I add some shallow water to his tank. That takes care of prompt number 24. I love the way this is coming out so far, but I gotta make some corrections to my main character, the main focus, the pretty girl. I fix her eye and then I start adding some rendering. For the rendering, this is a little tricky because I can't go super dark because it will clash with other elements in the drawing. Again, I'm not very comfortable working with grayscale. I don't usually work with black and white. So this is a challenge for me in itself. I'm challenging myself to draw all this in black and white, and I'm challenging myself to get rid of all these prompts. If I use the wrong color for the rendering and the shadows, and I use a color that resembles the color of the shirt, then it'll look like she's not wearing a shirt. Or if I use the color that's the same color as the shorts, then she's gonna look like she's not wearing any pants. And we don't want her to be naked, do we? No, we don't. No. I decided to make the background a little darker to have more of a contrast. And then I add this bouncy meteor in the background. I continue the rendering, add some lipstick and some hair highlights, and continue rendering the elements in the artwork. I go back to the toad creature in the corner because it's kind of hard to even understand what's happening there. So I need to add some rendering to kind of make things stand out more. I add some rim light to the saddle on top of the toad. Something really small can ride this toad if it wants to. And I kind of add some more of a texture to make him look more scratchy. I give him this weird antenna that glows kind of like an anglerfish, in case you guys weren't happy with that beast I drew earlier. So that gets rid of toad, saddle, and scratchy. I draw in the lid for the jar floating next to the character, and that goes for number 26, remove. Somebody removed the lid and is trying to get that map to find the booty. Arrgh. I add some coins floating around her because she is dreaming of coins, she is dreaming of money, she is dreaming of a fortune. At this part of my artwork, I usually change the colors of the outlines, but I can't really do that in this case. But I can change the color of the jar and the color of the fish tank. I make it more of a white color because it makes it look more like glass. I would usually do this for the character as well in some instances, but since it's Inktober, I want to keep those black outlines. Usually I would take the color closest to the outline and kind of paint over it to make some of it look like lineless art. And in some cases, I just use a slightly darker color from what's inside of the inks, and it kind of helps it pop as well. But in this case, I'm gonna take that out and just leave the black outlines. Because it's Inktober, we need some inks. I decided to give her another tattoo because I could not for the life of me think of another way to add spicy into the mix. So I gave her a tattoo of a jalapeno. I know I cheated a little bit. The tears in her eyes are dripping upwards to further exaggerate that anti-gravity feel. That takes care of drips. I originally wanted to have her in fly clothes, you know, because she got the drip. You know, cool kids say, you know, you got the drip. But I don't know what fly clothes are. I'm not even sure if I know what drip means. I'm not fashionable. Again, the tears are floating upwards, so that takes care of rise. And she is wandering this vast space world, and that takes care of wander. I add some snowflakes to the corner of the image, which takes care of prompt number 20, frost. And there we go, I think we have them all. Look at that, that looks like an artwork. Oh wait, number 25, dangerous. What's the most dangerous thing in all the universe? A beautiful woman. And here it is, all 31 prompts from Inktober. I hope you like it. I love the way she came out. I think it's actually pretty amazing. I know it's very strange and weird with the toad and the giant fish thing, but I think it works. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. Let me know what you would have done differently if you had to do all of them in one piece. And if you like this sort of thing, you can click this video right here. I do this sort of thing all the time. I have fun with my art, make jokes, and do awesome art challenges. Please hit the bell, hit subscribe, and remember, I'm awesome. I think. Thanks for watching.